What's up, everybody? What's going on? The usual like, share, subscribe, Cash App, $ Skywalker 1984, the letter M. Make sure he gets all the money and whatnot. Yeah, I was just looking around, looking at some of the progress that we've had, and we are doing very, very good. You guys are very good at commenting and whatnot. Um, what's up, Serious? As you guys are typing in, coming on board, please, I'm reading everything you're saying. But sometimes I just feel like talking rather than addressing every single thing. But I am watching you all, and I appreciate everything that you guys are doing. So, um, this thing, like most chats, is developing into a family of sorts. I've noticed that we kind of, I don't know, there's kind of a bond going on here. I noticed, and I'm so appreciative that you guys are commenting after the uh the stream and getting the likes up and whatnot. We got more shorts coming. I got my old ass computer is still good enough to do shorts and whatnot. Shout out to DMV for giving me this software that will be making shorts really easy and all. But anyway, um, so 84 is new at this. I'm new at this kind of. Uh, in terms of ideas and whatnot. The dear leader, we learn a lot from him and whatnot. But this show seems to be deviating just a little bit from that. Yes, there's always the war. I love the war, man. I love war. So, man, watching war, man. You know, I mean, war where no one gets like hurt. I love watching that. And you guys war pretty good. So I love watching that. And art Art's karaoke idea, even though Bill was the one that actually started it off, was really a good idea. That brought in a lot of likes, and people seemed to be having a lot of fun. We were laughing at that. So I got to thinking, any ideas you guys have, and definitely make sure you put it in the comment section after this, or any comment section for that matter. Let us know. Uh, because we are just wiling out right now, and that's fine. That's a great model. Seems to be working for many people. You guys certainly like it. The personalities are the ones that make things kind of work, regardless of what we do. But if you guys have an idea or something, that would be something we definitely would love to hear. My big goal, well, my short term goal is to at least get to the point where we can have super chats. And that way there's more interactive commenting on what goes on. And it helps fund us just to a degree. Although Skywalker is getting all the money. I haven't seen people say I'm treating him like what kind of person doesn't take any money, and the other guy, who truly is working by the way, is taking all the money. You guys call me like some kind of overseer or something and whatnot. I mean, but Skywalker's the one making all the money. I'm not doing anything. He's making money off my name. Now he's working, yeah, but he enjoys the work. Slaves and Mexicans don't enjoy the work. I don't think they enjoy that crap. Mowing lawns and shit. Building stuff for master. Ain't no Mexican that mows lawns wants to do that. I just don't see that. It's maybe a job where they got some ends, or it's easy skill to develop. But I don't see no Mexican or anyone wanting to do hard labor. That's that. that's bull crap, man. So this whole I treat Skywalker like he's a dirty Mexican. Let me tell you, he's in an air conditioned house. You know, he's got a computer, obviously. He can speak English. Ayo, bop. You know, I mean, so and he's getting all the money. I mean, if I was a lawn owner, you know, I'm sure he's taking man 80% of that, and those Mexicans are getting nothing. Well, I said I make comments on the comments, but don't do that, Skywalker. You're screwing. I'm trying to help, man. I'm trying to clean up my image, our image. The fact that you're mowing lawns right now is not really helping, man. God, these people. Not these people, Mexicans. These people, you know, I try to help everybody, man. I have not made one dime from this show. Skywalker has made all the money. I even shoot cash apps over to Skywalker because you miserable people don't seem to be good enough to give him money when he does all the work. But I'm not making a dime from this. All right. At least not yet, because there's not that many dimes to go around. So, you know, I'd rather starve than you eat than both of us like be anorexic. Anyway, uh so this thing is no, don't thank me, man. Don't thank me, okay? Don't even say, man, don't ever say thank you to me, man. All right. Thank you, all right? Anyway, uh I'm tired, man. I'm tired as hell. So we had the wedding yesterday. Me and my lady, we went over to or her son was getting married. Nice kid. It was a very nice wedding and whatnot. They started playing rap music, and I felt like everyone was looking at me like, okay, this is your chance to be black. Come on. Come on. There's rap music. Come on. And I was the only brother at the wedding. There was one other brother, but he was kind of not a real brother. He was kind of a, you know, DEI, just stand-in brother. I mean, he was probably from like Rent a Brother, you know, where you just go and you say, well, I need some black people to at my wedding. I don't have that much money. What's the cheapest I can get, you know, for this amount of money? Well, here's a brother here. All right, I'll take him. I mean, he was kind of a rent brother, and he left early. You know, he's kind of a weird guy too, man. He seemed kind of just, I don't know, man. I mean, he's one of those brothers where it's like, man, I don't know what kind of brother you are, man. You know, you want to talk about outlier brothers. This one was like, man, are you even real? Like, you're like an AI, man. He was really quiet. Um, he was built like a. He was a little shorter than me, but he was built like a square. Like his shoulders were like, man, his shoulders were really broad. You know, I mean, like one shoulder was like one side of Texas, and the other shoulder was the other side of Texas. So we're talking about his shoulders were about 10 hours long, and he had these really weird glasses that looked like goggles. I was like, "What? Are you scuba diving?" So, uh, and for those who are racialicious, by the way, Yeti, I needed to know that. Thank you, because yeah, thank you very much. I've been having mic issues. Anyway, he had scuba diving glasses. He was shorter than me. His shoulders were really broad, and his whole body was broad. And he kind of wobbled a little bit when he walked. You know, he was wearing a suit, but it had to be custom made because how are you going to get enough fabric? You just don't walk into a store and find suits that fit you if you're built like the state of Texas. Yeah, those big and tall. All right. Well, they need to have a wide and short. That's the type of guy this guy is. Anyway, I'm getting off today. You see, you guys got me talking about. So this brother was there. All right. So he kind of left. And I felt like the white people, and it's not their fault. I mean, look, I get it. If if I were a kid, even now, and I'm gonna have a basketball team, and I don't know anything else about anyone, but I see a black guy and a white guy, I'm probably gonna choose a black guy. You know, I mean, there's no other way to identify someone as being good in lieu of not knowing the person. I mean, I'm probably going to choose the black guy. And the same thing. I think people are looking at me just a little bit. They were side eye. They were side eyeing it like, okay, you're the black guy. Go ahead and dance. Well, I did, but not because of them. I did it because the music was good. It was old school hip hop. It was good. You know. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur, got the whole world looking at her. Low, 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 low. So, but the music, it was good. It was good stuff. So, um, did the wedding thing and then I came back here with y'all. I was popping in and out yesterday. I was just trying to be like, hey, yo, I wanted to get in, then I would have to go and get in, I have to go. Uh, where the fuck was it? I got to rewind this whole thing just to figure out what the hell I was talking about. 84, you talk about losing blood in your head, man. Try getting old. That'll screw up your memory. I like ideas. I like ideas. You guys definitely put ideas in the comment section. Um, this week, my goal is to start a Twitter account. So we can stream on Twitter as we're streaming on this as well, and maybe grab some people over there. This costs me $45 a month to have this StreamYard with the things that we have, but it looks like you guys are really ready to go. 84 is East Coast, Art is West Coast, which kind of benefits the show in a way because when it's 2 in the morning for Skywalker, it's only what 11 for Art. So Art, we might have a job for you. You don't have to shave your beard. All right. Um, now you're light skinned where I'm not too worried about you power tripping, but there's a good chance, Art, you may have a moderator job, a host job. We got to test you out. All right, we got to see what's going on, brother. The moment you start asking for money, I'll find another black person or another LA person. All right, I don't want you asking for money yet. This is trial. We can work out the money later. Um, but all cash apps need to go to Skywalker, who's the progenitor, the worker of this show. But it seems like you guys are always having fun. Skywalker gets tired because he starts to stream. He be working like 9 hours a day, man. All right. You guys got to come up off it. I'm sorry. He's working really hard. What are you just doing? Man, content creating is not easy. It's a very tiring, psychologically pressing thing. Now, yes, there are times where you could sit back and let everyone do their thing, but you have to monitor this. You have to get personalities together. All it takes is one person to start screwing up the mood, then you got to deal with that. So he's doing a lot of work here, guys. He's doing a lot of work, and just cash app him. But I think what the best way to do it now is that when Skywalker is ready to turn in, we're going to entrust the show with Art, who has shown unbelievable ability to make people laugh, throws quiet shade, plays stupid when he's really smart. Art has a future. Art has a future. Hey, oh, Bob, I got a question, Bob, we got to talk, Bob, we got to talk. Questions to ponder. Questions to ponder. What's going on? What do you say? Hey, Bob, Bob. Oh, he's gonna put me in the back. He's gonna put me in the back. That's Art for you. I'm in Lincoln, Nebraska. I have to drive to Kansas City, which is not too far. Well, I'm not flying today. I got to pick up a flight tomorrow in Atlanta, Georgia, and I got to be in position by Monday morning to pick up this flight on Monday night. So it'd be easier if I just leave today. So I will be driving from Lincoln to uh, Kansas City to pick up a flight to go to uh, on my favorite airline, Delta Airlines. All right. Not saying I work for Delta. All right. Not saying I don't. I'm not, don't start, Yeah, but Atlanta is the hub for Delta and the world's busiest airport. So I lived in Atlanta for 12 years, man. I had fun from 2000, excuse me, from 1993 to 2005. I lived in Atlanta. It was great, man. We had Freaknik, the Olympics came. The town was really, really going through an incredible transformation. And uh and then um well, word got out, and the word got out to the people who have a different lifestyle. All right, white people do. I'm saying that in quotes. I was at Freaknik, man. I was there I got to college in 93, left in 97. So yeah, I was there. I was right down smack in the middle of it. And yeah, I was, uh, but Atlanta was good. I left in 2005 ish because it was time to leave. And I go back to Atlanta now. I don't recognize it. There were some problems, at least in certain areas, where the ninjas came in and destroyed things like Lenox Mall. You know how black people do, they just destroy everything. Yeah, black people see something beautiful and have to destroy it. Um, but yeah, so the city of Buckhead, which was the northern part of kind of the central northern part of the city, broke off, became its own kind of city, and got cops and said, we're not dealing with the crime. And so Buckhead is pretty now. It used to be nice when I was in college, and it went downhill because the rats came through, and then the city uh, got got its own deal, and now it's beautiful now. Um, but yeah, Atlanta's like a city where it's like Memphis people, but they have a little bit more sense, you know, just a little bit, but it's still ninja infested, and it is actually a lot of men who are, as CT calls, are do funnies, and a lot of them, which that's not really well. As a straight black man, that I guess that's good for me. It would be a great city if I were into black women. So, uh, but I'm not into black women, and there are a lot of single black women who are doing fairly well, I might add, too. So, you know, uh, I'd rather be in Salt Lake City than Atlanta when it comes to dating. Probably not for culture, though. Because there is something about there is something about seeing your face everywhere that's kind of nice. There's that soothing part, but then there's also like, well, my face everywhere. That means some fighting is about to break out. It's kind of like, oh man, I love seeing black people. Oh shit, I'm about to get shot. It's the funniest dichotomy, man. I tell you. See when I grew up around Jews, whites, and Asians. All right, there was a handful of black kids that were like in public housing in this weird area in Maryland that I was at, Potomac, Maryland. But it was like I grew up around people that were arguing over which college they're going to go to. You know, not who's the best rapper and all that stuff. All right, now these white kids would play rap music, but they would play rap music going to you know Jewish school after 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 a regular school. Yeah, they play rap music, but they play rap music driving to a study group. And they never lost that part. I mean, they enjoyed the fun stuff of black culture, I guess, without becoming black. And I guess I was the same way too. Not so much emulating them, but because I had a father that would put my foot in my well, who did put his foot in my ass regularly. I still have part of his foot in my ass. Uh, you still, you take a dump and you look at the dump. Everyone looks at their own dump. It's like, oh yeah, there's a little piece of leather there. That was from my dad's foot. Um, Sorry, too much information. But the point I'm trying to make is simply that growing up, I didn't get along with the other black kids, and they certainly didn't like me. Um, I remember I beat one black kid in track, and that seemed to stave them off a little bit. I felt sorry for that other black kid because he kind of was from the same area they were, and they were making fun of him. But they thought the fact that I could run track gave me some kind of street cred, not my grades. What the hell I care about my grades for? What's your fucking grades? What I need grades for? You can run fast. You know that's the kind of mentality that they had, man. So growing up around Jews, Asians, and whites, you just didn't worry about like shooting and all that. I mean, that's just not what they do. Uh, uh, I did 200 meters. Um, very slow, but that's what I did. You just don't worry about that stuff, man. Like where I grew up, man. Like okay, so where I grew up, I thought that's how everyone grew up. But you realize you leave it, and you're like, oh, I guess not. Not everyone trades their car with their friend at age 16. Again, my father didn't allow that. Foot in the ass, but I mean, these kids would you get your learner's permit, and you would have like a BMW or you have these nice Jeeps, and white people love Jeeps, Mustangs, and all that stuff. I mean, these kids were like, I was around some rich kids. We were the poor of the rich, if you will. We were the rich upper middle class or poor rich. But these guys had all kinds of money, man. And it was fantasy land where I grew up. It was fantasy land. Potomac, Maryland is fantasy land. If you go in Potomac, Maryland, and you look on Wikipedia and see some of the famous people that live there and what it's about, it is fantasy fucking land. But as a kid, you don't know. You just don't know. I mean, I'd seen other areas of DC, Silver Spring, Rockville, Bethesda. They look similar. Maybe their lawn wasn't as cut perfectly as our lawns were, but in suburban Maryland, Suburban Maryland is a very beautiful area all around, man. I mean, and the crime you hear, or we would hear on the local news, that was all in Southeast DC. But Southeast DC is about 45 minutes from me, and I had no reason to go over there anyway as a kid. The closest I would get to Southeast DC was probably hanging around Howard back in the day when I was in high school. That Howard McDonald's that everyone knows about, it probably brings in more money than, man, that Howard McDonald's always has some stuff around. Also, it's ninja infested too, but that Howard McDonald's was always around. I don't know. So I never knew growing up about all this stuff. I knew that the black kids that were around me came from like a low income area, and they were always causing problems. But I didn't realize how many people didn't go to college. I was stunned when I read the stats because everyone went to college. I was like, what? Like most people in the world, most people in America don't go to college. Like who doesn't go to college? It's crazy, right? I went to my 20-year reunion about 12 years ago. Lawyers, doctors, accountants, business owners, the usual scuttlebutt. And I wasn't surprised. And they weren't surprised when they saw Bob, like, okay, so Bob's an airline pilot. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, yeah, man. I remember you talking about that as a kid and all that stuff. Like, yeah. Your environment is your parent when your parent is not around. And if you have no parent, your environment is your parent. And, you know, and this is where I go a little bit left, just a tad, is opportunities. When you're in an environment that's telling you that you are a ninja, it takes an active parent in front of you because your parent can't be in front of you all the time saying you're not, you know. But my environment was constantly telling me I'd be in charge. So I have my dad telling me you're going to be in charge, and then I have my environment telling me you are of the class of people who's in charge. Well, I guess I'm in charge. And I've come to appreciate that more as I've gotten older. My dad's influence, of course, which is outstanding. But my environment was telling me, listen, Bob, you are not a worker bee in the traditional sense. I mean, being an airline pilot, I actually am a worker bee. Being an airline pilot, I don't have that much influence as much people think, man. I mean, they give me a flight plan, they feel up the airplane, they tell me, go, boy, go. And I do it. I'm not sitting up there saying, where do I feel like going today? I'll go to Miami. Hey, tell the company I'm going to Miami, all right? And tell them to put on the fuel and tell them to throw on the food. No, it's like you show up an hour for work, you go through the flight plan, the weather packet, you meet your first officer, you go out to the airplane, you know, and there's certain time gates I have to meet. I got to boom this. Okay, people on board. Okay, boom, 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 go. So I am a worker bee of sorts, highly skilled labor, but labor nonetheless. You know, But it's interesting, man. That the whole dynamic, and you're so removed from other parts of society that when you start going out in the general, I mean, even in college at Morehouse, man, we were all a bunch of upper middle class rich kids, man. So these guys that would try to Dave of the world that try to cosplay like they were broke. You weren't broke, nigga. All right, you didn't have financial aid. You paid in cash for your tuition. But you break out and you start interacting with people in the real world. Like where I went to flight school was in Florida, Vero Beach, Florida. Vero Beach was, I mean, well, everyone looked like Bill and Be Brave. We're talking white trash. They're not that they're white trash, but they look like white people who had it rough. Vero Beach is like where the Dodgers play preseason or something, and it's Treasure Coast. It's a small little town. It's one of those towns where it's like they have like a what's that? What are those stores called? Those outlet stores. Out in the middle of nowhere. You know, Vero Beach, Florida. So when I went there after flight school, the culture shock was not so much that it was white people because I grew up around them, but it was a different kind of white person. These were poor white people, and I was like, oh shit. And to the Linwoods of the world and the Bens and the JPs, I should feel different from them because they're white. I'm like, no, I felt different than them because this is the low class of whites. That's the thing, man. Class differences. You cannot talk about race without talking about class. You cannot. This is not the '60s, man. You have to put in class when you talk about race because I got to tell you, my problems are a whole lot different. My problems are a whole lot different than the people in Vero Beach. The people in I don't know Jackson County, West Virginia, the people in Meridian, Mississippi. You know, the people who are in you know different spots in Nebraska and these poor towns all across the U.S. Bullshit, bullshit. My problems are bigger than their problems. Having white skin doesn't get you the same cash out like it used to. I can tell you that, man. I've been to every state in this country except for Hawaii. Some of these towns I would have never. Great Falls, Montana, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Casper, Wyoming, all right, Harlingen, Texas, Meridian, Mississippi, which is the worst city in America. It's even worse than Memphis. I'm looking at these people, man. They're white people all over around me, man, and I'm talking like, and they're nice people. I'll give B Brave that. They're the nicest people in the world, but bullshit. They are dealing with some serious financial problems. My life, my milkshake brings all the hoes to the yard. My life is better than yours. she would say, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. I thought she was saying, my Aichi Inchi dance to the door, my life is better than yours. I had to say, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Yeah, I'm not going to sing, I don't have a milkshake and any boys to the yard, ain't coming. But you know how you like, you take words and you don't understand what they're saying. So you go, staying alive, staying alive. Yeah. I can tell what I do whatever you want. Yeah, I'm a real coward. America's so diverse. God, it's so diverse, man. It's so diverse. I remember. I mean, the economic diversity is there. And by the way, everyone says the middle class is shrinking. Well, okay, America's middle class is unbelievably big. You go to these other countries, you're either rich or poor, man. Okay, they don't have Holiday Inns in India. You're either on the street taking a shit in a hole or you're living in the Waldorf Astoria. So America's middle class is still around. Okay, we have Holiday Inns. All right, we also have the Motel Inn, and then we also have the Intercontinental. So there is economic diversity, uh, but there's cultural diversity too. I think I was reading something where America is made up of 7 nations, 7 different nations that have agreed to all live with each other. In terms of how diverse this country is, and there's something to that, man. But I got to tell you, anywhere you go in America, you're going to understand instantly. Uh, I mean, how things work, and that may sound kind of weird, but you got to think as big as the country is, and how many people that we have. In India has 1 billion people, man. The northern half of India. There's some places in India where you can't understand what other people are saying. Like the language is different. All right, like Hindi and Urdu or whatever. I mean, imagine living in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and then traveling down to Little Rock, Arkansas. You're in the same country, but you literally are speaking separate languages. And I'm not talking about the people here who speak Spanish that don't. I'm talking about people who speak a separate language. And they're citizens of your country. And there's a lot of them. I'm not talking about they're immigrants. I'm not talking about that. I like born Indians can't speak to other Indians because it's a fucking separate language. Even the Civil War, both of them niggas were speaking English. So, and that's what I love. I mean, the picture you see right now, man. I mean, allegedly, I took that picture. There's a picture over the U.S. and whatnot. That's the Terminator. The Terminator is uh, the Terminator is actually where light, where the day and the night actually meet. You know, you see like on the Earth. So that was a picture of the Terminator. I believe we were coming. So that was the night. Night was overtaking us. I believe that's what it was. But you go around America, man. I'm telling you, you walk outside America. Okay, there's going to be a Starbucks somewhere. There's going to be a Best Buy. All right. There's going to be hotels. There's going to be McDonald's. There's going to be the country has mastered being connected while being separate. You know, sure. I mean, there's going to be different regional accents. You know, but a New York person can understand a Southerner. You know, the gulf between a Mormon in Utah and a surfer in Florida is a lot smaller than people say, and even the UK, whose accents change every street. You know, in the UK, you got the Scottish. I mean, UK is actually four different countries technically, but I mean, you got the Scots who are just incensed at the English, you know, and wanting to break off. Man, no one really takes no one really takes any state breaking off seriously. I mean, it's interesting and whatnot, but it's a monumental bureaucratic mess. Okay, so all you do, you break off from one state and you go to another state, but you don't become a separate country. You know, we're people of Arizona. We're going to go ahead and become a separate country. Now, people in California can talk about that stuff, but people in California, I mean, y'all ain't going. First of all, it's too much money. America's not going to lose that much money by California going. Secondly, if California did try to defect or become its own country, two things would happen. First of all, Democrats would never win ever again. All right, their party's done. And all that would really happen is the right would win so much. We just run over and go or take over. We would invade California and make it go back to the nation. All right. So when I hear liberal states that have a lot of money wanting to become their own country, you've killed the Democratic Party quicker than we ever could have. All right. And you've just made yourself a target of being invaded. So, liberalism does a great job of destroying itself. It's such a funny movement. I mean, it destroys other people too. That's the thing. Like, it destroys the weaker people and it destroys the people that don't have a voice and all that stuff as it goes down. But like feminism destroys the very same people it purports to help. It's just a shame that girl sports got to get ruined with it. Which I don't understand girl sports anyway. But you know what I'm saying? Liberalism can only exist in a conservative nation. Okay, if the people in Chicago or people in Illinois and New York and all these places, they're hemorrhaging people. They're running to red states. Okay, if Illinois suddenly decided we're not going to be a part of the U.S. anymore, first of all, the amount of people that would defect to the U.S. would be hilarious. Okay, people would be there'd be refugees. There'd be refugees pouring into Missouri, Iowa, and Indiana, and Kentucky. And then you got to think too. Well, how the hell are you going to have an economy? In the only economy you can. Sorry, where the hell was I? Oh yeah, Illinois. Can you guys? Am I back? Can you guys hear me or no? Can you guys test, test, test? Can you guys hear me? Test, test. Can you guys hear me? Test, 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 test. Can you guys hear me or not? Okay, because I don't see the little like gray aspect of me like going in and out. Oh look, guys. I got to run here. I got to take a shower. Get cleaned up. Got to make a drive and all that stuff. We'll talk about Illinois later. I see the dear leaders here at Chaotic. What's up, man? All right, it's 11:36, and I can't get the extension on the hotel to leave till 1, so I gotta leave now. I'm up first. But guys, a shout out to Chaotic Truth Live. Of course, we all know that channel, but go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Please, guys, leave a comment here. The big thing I want you guys to do is to leave a comment about what ideas you want on the show. The karaoke thing was great. Everyone showed up. Let's do more of that stuff, man. All right. Uh, Maybe interviews, maybe lives, maybe anything. But let's see if we can have a little fun over here. All right.